Welcome back to Mik'd Up. You don't have to listen to us talk anymore. We've done it for a long time. We got the two of the superstars in here. Paul Skenes, appreciate you coming in. And Thatcher Hurd, appreciate you coming in. We had to adjust the speakers a little bit or the mics a little bit because y'all are enormous people. And that's
big guys in here.
I cannot stand sitting next to pitchers or staying next to pitchers because y'all are always way taller. I'm 6'1". I'm like, I feel like I'm 5'7" because y'all are 6'8" and 6'5" and 6'4". However, how tall are you? 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
Exactly. You're what, 6'10"? 6'8"?
No, not quite. 6'6".
6'6". Whatever. I had Renato with 6'7". It was brutal. All right, let's get to it. Talk to me about last night. Obviously, y'all come here for a reason, right? You transferred to LSU to play at the best place in college baseball, right? We've 6 championships, best fans in baseball. They're going to play against the best competition. Y'all got to experience Alex Box Stadium at its peak, right? Y'all super regional, at home, at night. I'm kind of glad the game got postponed because y'all deserved the night game. Did it live up to expectations? Did it exceed expectations? Run me through this weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty much everything I could have asked for. Obviously, that's why you come to LSU, and I knew we were going to be playing in a super regional, playing for Omaha. We've been talking about it for 10 months, and for it to finally be here and go pretty much as well as it could have was everything we could have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, I was praying to get the ball that last game, and but Saturday night, game 1.
Yeah.
They're announcing the lineups, and then they did. They announced the starting 9, and then Paul, they did his. And
how loud was it?
I got chills. It was so sick. And then the anthem was sick. So I had chills. And in the regional the game before, I think he told me the same thing. It got, they do the slow clap. And I was out there on the mound, and I got chills. It's so cool.
So, I mean, last night, this past weekend, it's like that's one of the things you come here for. And you start the year, and there's a list of goals that you have. Obviously, this is one. The tournament starts, it's the tournament, but you're still playing at home stadium and stuff like that. At what point of the night last night, because I feel like when you punch the ticket to go to Omaha, that's the feeling where you're like, all right, this is different. Like this is a real chance to dance now. At what point of the night last night did you feel like this is happening tonight? Like this is going to happen tonight?
Was it the 8th inning you threw in the bullpen, or? I feel like
I was getting hot for a while.
I feel like you threw an entire All right, brother, finish answer the question. My bad.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, they hit a leadoff home run, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, we're still winning this game. Like, yeah, there was no doubt in my mind that we were winning. After the game on Saturday, it was like, all right, like, just got to go out there and execute, and then we're gonna, do it, and we're gonna have a fun night, and get to celebrate, our season, and we're 5 wins away, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, after Hoover, we all got together as a team, and we connected a lot. We laid out this is how we're gonna do it, and then, I mean, from first pitch of regional last weekend, it was just like this is the right style of baseball, and then when Paul goes out, and he does it, he executes the plan. But, you got sometimes take it with a grain of salt because it's 101 with the banger. Like, here's the plan. So I'm charting. I'm like, well, if you go 3 straight heaters, it'll work.
If you just throw that one, it's going to be okay.
We'll watch Spaceball, and it'll be like, someone will throw 96, go foul it off, and be like, you know what I would have done right there? Probably go 1-on-1 on the black.
Well, your first game, your first inning, you're 100 to 103 miles an hour probably for the first 3 innings. Like, you weren't trying to juice it up, but like the adrenaline was there.
I was trying.
I was trying. Yeah, no, it's not stopped. I was trying.
Yeah.
It's hard. You know what? It's hard to juice it up and still be around the zone. You're all over it.
Yeah, I pretty much go as hard as I can and still be around the zone.
I love that.
Makes it sound easy.
Yeah, must be nice.
Just throw as hard as I can, right where I want to.
So you're on the mound. I actually, because I'm not a huge fan of umpires sometimes, like the way they try to
get him in trouble.
They try to bait you and they try to like act like just bullshit. Felt like, and you don't have to badmouth it, but I feel like the home plate umpire was trying to bait you at one point in your start, and he kept looking around the catcher, and you're on the mound. You're like, "You talking to me?
Yeah.
Can you just what went in? What happened there?"
Yeah, I don't know. There were some pitches that I thought were strikes,
Which
and
I did too.
some other people probably thought they were strikes. And it's not like, we did a bad job framing them. Like, we did a good job presenting them, and I was just out there. I was kind of like laughing. I'm like,
yeah, I can tell you because it felt like the umpire was looking. He was like trying to bait you to say something so that he can make it about him and say, "Hey, you're out or done or whatever." But I can't stand that, and so I just didn't know if there was words exchanged or if it was just you just looked at him and smiled and said, "Okay," and then you shook the guy out with a 102-mile-an-hour fastball, or I think it was a slide. I don't know whatever it was. You shook the next guy out.
Yeah.
And then,
But yeah, you got to swing and miss, and he was like, "You have to call that one," and then he knew about it.
yeah, no doubt.
Did you feel like you were gonna go in? Like, did you like what did Jay tell you when you were warming up? Because I talked to him and he was like, I didn't know, I needed him ready, but I also needed him ready to pitch the next day. But I feel like you threw 75 pitches in the bullpen, and like, did you feel like at one point in the game that you were gonna be the guy to end it, or did you kind of feel like, I'm just kind of just here just to be here, just for tomorrow? Did you think it was a realistic shot of going in?
Yeah, and like the 6th, I would try to stay ready the whole game because you just never know. And then, but around the 6th, he called me up and he said, "Hey, we're going to send Coop back out, and then Guidry's going back out, and then we want to give you a clean inning for the 8th or the 9th. And so I thought, I was just going to be ready for whenever. So I just kept throwing to stay hot, and then
Kept throwing, huh?
Yeah, just kept throwing. Threw a lot of bullets.
Threw a lot of
And at one point at night, I looked down. I'm like, bro, he's thrown 2 games in the field. Check
So
this out.
I don't gotta throw a touch tomorrow. So. But once Gavin, he got 2 outs in the 9th, I'm like, I'm gonna get ready to dog pile.
I love that. And honestly, y'all did the Major League Baseball dog pile where nobody actually gets on the ground and y'all kind of stand up or like kind of like
it found its way to the ground.
It did.
Yeah,
at some point, but so that's good. Nobody gets hurt on the bottom of the
Last
pot.
thing we need is someone's spike going in Dylan's eye.
No doubt. Yeah.
That was good. No, we didn't.
Talk me through your season, right? You come in here, obviously, with the expectations of being the guy. You are a guy. You are the guy. You've had some ups and downs. Last year, you kind of banged up a little bit. You come in here, you have a couple starts, and in Texas, you kind of shove, and then you kind of go through some ups and downs. You're out the bullpen. You're starting. You're out the bullpen. You kind of have this jack of all trades role. But over the last, I feel like month and a half, I feel like something clicked or you found something or whatever it was, and you've been the guy that you know that you are. Talk me through that. What happened? Like, what did you work on? What clicked to make you kind of get back to your old self? And talk about kind of overcoming that adversity.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I just tried to stay level. I knew if stick to my plan every single day, and I was going to get on the other side of it. So it was tough, but a lot of talk with Paul. We talked a lot about a lot of mindset stuff. Talked to Wes and Coach Jay a lot, obviously, and so yeah, with Coach Wes, there's just a lot about simplifying. It all starts over the white. As stupid as that may sound, but until we find a better way than strike one, that's the best way to do it. So really focused on that, and that process. I know I'm gonna be back in the zone, and then start to execute a plan, execute my strengths some more. So it just it was a process. It was tough at times, but just stuck with it every day. And
was there anything mechanical, or was there anything like to tweak in your delivery, or is it just more of, hey, just gotta keep doing what I'm going. I'm gonna get in rhythm. I'm gonna figure it out. Is there anything that you changed, or is it more of just keep doing it and I'm gonna figure it out?
I think there was a little sequencing where I would kind of open up, lose some deception, and then the direction would get a little off. We cleaned that up, and so it was a little of both. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about being competitive, getting ahead of counts.
When did that cleanup happen? Because I'm imagining
whenever he got Paul's glove.
Well, no, I'm imagining like stuff like that. The numbers usually come after, but you actually usually feel something a little bit before. When did that happen?
No, we're hitters, so we're a little bit more mental midgets maybe sometimes than pitchers. So like for me, if I don't feel, then all of a sudden I feel it and I'm saying, oh, I'm back. I'm like, well, you're an idiot.
I think it's different. I think it's
figure this out.
I think y'all get in your head way more than we do. Dead ass.
Yeah, I never had like a click. I'm like, this is it. I knew it would take some time, and that's what I talked it through with Wes and stuff. It's just staying with it. But I felt like I had some outings where I'm like, the stuff was good, but the counts were bad, so I got beat. So, I mean, it was just kind of like taking something from every outing and learning from it, and then good or bad, just flushing it and moving on and learning from it.
Did you feel a little like uncomfortable this year by just getting the pitch, or like?
Oh yeah, it was weird at the beginning. Yeah, and I would take BP.
Out of habit.
What's that?
Just out of habit.
Yeah. So no, we had like a specific regimen of like days that I would hit, and I'm throwing every day. And so I would like take BP on like Thursdays and Sundays and Tuesdays or something like that. And, so I'm taking BP and did that for a while. And then I realized at some point, like, they don't want me to go in the game, like, especially with the teams, like, because, realistically, I was just going to go in the game on a Tuesday or something like that.
Right.
And teams we were playing then were probably going to hit, there was a chance that they were going to hit me in the hand or something like that. So it was a weird kind of adjustment, but I've realized recently that I definitely think a lot more like a pitcher than a hitter at this point.
Well, I feel like and you know, but I don't know what's going through your head, but as being a hitter, right? Like, there's a different mentality on the mound, right? You kind of see it through Gavin Guidry, right? As a hitter, when you're a hitter, you got to get ready to play every day. You kind of have a different mentality at the plate, and sometimes when a hitter becomes a pitcher, you kind of see that mentality roll over. You kind of see it with him. He's almost like too young to even realize like what he's doing up there, and like to kind of take away from his confidence. Do you kind of feel like you kind of brought that, because you pitch, you're obviously, one, you're really good, so that helps with the confidence level, but you're uber confident on the mound. Like, do you think that had any crossover whenever you said, okay, I'm just going to be a pitcher?
For sure. I think I've always pitched with that a little bit.
Yeah.
And you have to have that as a hitter because it's such a failure sport, and that's one thing with Guidry that's like, he's out there and he does some stuff, and it's like, all right, like this kid, like, there's a lot more than what he's showing right now. And even what he's showing right now is, he closed out a super regional yesterday, like
3 innings, 3 innings,
pretty darn good. And
he didn't pick up a ball. He didn't throw off the mound all in the fall. Probably not even all the beginning of the spring. Right? Like not until the season. Like, that's kind of like we were playing. We had a guy on our team, Chad Jones. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this guy, Chad Jones. He was a third rounder in the NFL as a free safety. He was 6'3", 240 pounds as a free safety, and he was an outfielder. And he would hit. He was a starting outfielder, and then he left to go play football. And I took his position as a freshman, which was great. So I was happy that he left because I was able. Then he came back. There's no position. He told his coach Mary one day, "Hey, I can pitch." We didn't have a lefty. I can pitch, and he was 93 off the mound with a banger of a slider. Kind of the same thing. Never picked up a ball up until that point. Ended up being like our lefty guy out the pen, kind of similar to Gavin Guidry. So it's I kind of understand, that side of it. That he didn't pick up a ball, and then all of a sudden.
And you almost need those kind of moments to be able to make a run like y'all are on, where it comes from, you don't know who it's going to come from, but to have Guidry as a freshman step up and go, I can close it out. And the way he's not only pitching with confidence, but like he's telling you he's confident. So I know you were over there getting hot for 3.5 innings, but whenever he took the mound, I felt like you all felt like he's going to close this thing out.
Oh yeah.
Well, talk to me about what makes him good. Obviously, not just the mindset, right? He throws that breaking ball. And people who don't know baseball are like, he throws it's a slider, and it's not, it's just a break. How do you not hit it? But, like, this thing's super sharp, and it falls off the table. Like, talk a little bit about what makes him, and y'all both can speak on this, what makes him really good, on the mound, and what makes his slider so effective.
Yeah, he's got a lot of carry on his fastball, which is probably from playing short. Like, you see JT make his throws, and they're just carry. He has the same type of play on his fastball, and then his slider's really unique. It's really top to bottom, and he throws it firm. And he just suffocates the strike zone.
Yeah,
so
competitive.
Yeah, it was cool. Like watching him do that to clinch it. Like you can tell he's definitely like picturing himself doing that his whole life, which is really cool.
Talks a little shit to himself too on the mound, which is great. You need a closer to do that.
Yeah.
You talked about mindset. You talked about y'all talk a lot about the mental part of the game, right? That's the biggest. To me, that's the biggest part of baseball. We talk a lot about it. I've gone through a lot of baseball in my life. I've gone through a lot of times where I thought I sucked because baseball is so hard. And times where you think you're good. You're never as good as you think you're never as bad as you think you're playing, you're never as good as you think you're playing. Did you always have that mindset, or is that something that you had to develop through Air Force, through here? Or did you have that going into college?
Yeah, I've definitely had to develop it. I think I had it coming into college, but I've definitely developed it as I've gone on. but I've also been put in situations where my freshman year I was a closer.
You get the homer to Dylan.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Got the win, but get the homer.
No, proudly. Like that was really cool, and like I probably think that's cooler than he does. But yeah, I mean, I got put in situations where I could succeed as long as I executed, and it's really cool when you can just stay out of your own way. To just go out there and execute. At that point, it's just mental.
Dude, I always love talking to guys who got a chance to hit on a higher level. No slight to you. It's just a different mindset. Being on the mound after hitting in college as well, how much more confidence does that give you just knowing, hey, it is actually as hard as people think it is when you're in the box?
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of times where it's like, I have a terrible game and
when was that?
No, hit it.
Oh, hit it.
Yeah, specifically my freshman year, and there were a bunch of games that year. I feel like where I had a terrible game and we're winning like 3-2 or something. And it's like, okay, I can help us win, by closing it out, and it's especially with how failure driven hitting is, like to go out there and be able to have everybody else believe that you're going to succeed, along with yourself. I think that's definitely cultivated that in me.
I'm looking from the outside looking in, right? Obviously, throughout the course of the year, you've pitched exceptionally. You've been lights out, striking out between 10, 15 guys a game, doing everything you need to do. I felt like towards the back end of the season, right? You started getting towards the back end of the SEC, into the tournament. Did you change some of the ways you pitch? And I guess the one game that I'm pointing out, right, is Arkansas, right? And I don't care about the stat line at all. Like, that doesn't bother me. I know, talk to Jay, I know what the situation was. But it felt like you approached that lineup a little differently after that first inning, right? They were coming out aggressive, super aggressive on the fastball because they know you're around the zone. I felt like you were throwing, and I could be wrong, I felt like you're throwing more two-seamers into righties, especially that, the 3 or 4 hole guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
just felt like you mixed and matched a little bit differently than you had throughout the course of the years. That's something that you've kind of changed, and that's something that it's just dependent upon the lineup that you're facing. It's
definitely dependent on the lineup, and like going into this past weekend, knowing that obviously we faced Arkansas twice, we faced Kentucky twice, so the plan has to change, week to week. Tulane, we knew they were going to come out swinging. Like, just, I want to say they swing like 45% of the time as a team, heading into that game. Like, just an unbelievable, swing rate. So, that Arkansas game, there's obviously the plan that you have, but, then you get into the game and you find out that you don't have a pitch or something like that. And that day I did not have my slider, for whatever reason. My body was off, my sequencing was off. Just couldn't find the release point, and so it was curveball over slider that day. And they did a good job grinding out at bats. They did a really good job with their plan that day, of just trying to touch the ball, foul off pitches because they knew I was on a pitch count. So, but yeah, I mean, as the season goes on, you have to switch your plan up. But a lot of that's just a week to week thing, and partially dependent on what we think they're going to do, going into the week, and then obviously partially dependent on what they do end up doing, and you can figure that out in the first couple innings.
Same type of question for you, right? So as the season's progressed, like the beginning of the season, it felt like, this is me kind of nerding out on baseball a little bit because I like the behind the scenes stuff. Felt like your slider earlier in the year felt like more of like a cutter. Towards the back end of the year, it looks like it's gained a little bit more depth. Is that something that you've like consciously worked on, or is that something that just kind of naturally developed throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, I definitely worked on more shape with the slider. It turned into the harder cutter kind of out of nowhere. I think it's with sequencing. I kind of, during the year, or before the season, I was working on pronating through the finish, and I think that put me a little more behind the slider. It gave it more of a cutter look. And so once I got my sequencing right, with staying close and using the legs and sequencing with the torso and all that, I was able to get my hand in a better position and then make it bigger, which was good. Yeah. So I didn't have to be so fine with it.
Yeah, that's great.
For both of
hate
you guys,
sliders.
yeah, I know it is. Yeah,
I hate sliders.
I like it. For both of you guys being guys that were transfers this year, what coming into this league, what's been the biggest difference for you? Like, what have you seen day to day going through the SEC, and how has it been different for you?
And this is no slight to you, Air Force, but like you come from the Pac-12, right? So it's a more well-known conference. I'm trying to be politically correct here, but like, they are known for being, pretty good at baseball. Nice.
But it's also because
yeah.
Before you answer the question, I think it's something that's said a lot, and then once you do it, you're like, all right, it is different. What's been different for you?
The hitters are a lot better. 1 through 9 in pretty much every SEC lineup. There's no break, and I think if we were to just get thrown into it and like face the lineups that we did throughout the year, it would have been a lot different. But we faced, in my opinion, the best lineup in the country all fall.
My opinion too.
Yeah, like in a lot of people's opinions. I mean,
Trey hits one more homer, you got 9 guys with double digits. Like,
yeah,
that's stupid.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
So, we faced the best lineup in the country. I pitched against them 7 times before in the fall, or 6 times in the fall, and then 3 more times in the spring. So like the hitters are a lot better, but I think it's tough to say because it wasn't a linear. It was like a step up from the Mountain West. It was a linear progression for me, and with that, I got better, he got better. We all got better in that time. So the hitters are a lot better, but I think that's tough to answer too.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. And then with execution, you got to execute pitches. You got to get in good counts. And, I felt at times last year, I was able to get guys out by changing speeds, where as this year, I think it comes down more to execution. But, yeah, just pretty much exactly what Paul said with the lineups 1 through 9.
Pitching in this park where I feel like we've always felt like it played pretty fair, maybe even slightly bigger.
Before the golf balls.
No, obviously, yeah, that's different. But towards the middle of the field here, it plays pretty big. Around the SEC, going for you guys this year, where was the place where you're like, good Lord, this is a bandbox?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah. South Carolina and Georgia, especially the right field of Georgia.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's a joke.
That 350 don't play like 350 either.
It's a joke. It's a joke over there.
I'm sure Russ will love it.
Yeah, we're obviously we're a little older, obviously, and I don't like to do the whole comparison thing, but then I do it because we put on the 09 team. He was a junior. I was a freshman on the 09 team. It was the last time we won a national championship. One of the biggest things that still to this day that I felt like the reason why we won, not only were we good, but we had like the relationships that we had with each other on the team, like the chemistry that we had. We have a group text that has like 24 or 25 guys on it. And out of those 24 guys, I think 18 of them were from that team, right? So like we're still super close. We talk. It feels like y'all have that same energy, and y'all have that same type of team. Like y'all watch y'all celebrate. I watch y'all. You're wearing a Travinsky shirt, which I want to get to in a little bit because that's amazing, and I want one before I go to Omaha. Like it feels like y'all have that same type of team. Speak to that a little bit. Like is that something that y'all feel? Is that something that y'all have consciously said, okay, we're going to make sure that we are close-knit, or it just kind of has happened?
I think a little bit of both. I think we were intentional about it and, tried to make it happen, but it was like 23 returners and 21 newcomers, I think, like between the freshmen and the transfers. So with that many new people, I was a little bit worried, and I think a lot of people were a little bit worried about like the meshing of the team. Mm-hmm. But I think I've found that, with that many new people, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all just Tigers. It doesn't matter that he came from UCLA or, whatever. And we kind of just realized that we need to make it happen, whoever it is. Like, we're not all, best friends on the team, but we're all close.
Right.
And there's, that mutual love, I would say, between everyone. And we definitely try to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it comes back to the returners, and in the beginning of the fall, Gavin Dugas, Cade, Dylan, Trey, Hayden, all those guys that you could tell they wanted to mesh the group. And
right.
I'm super thankful for that coming in. I didn't know anyone on this team, and those guys kind of taking all those guys under their wings and wanting it to be oriented around a really close group. that was really cool. And like 2 weeks in, I feel like I've known these guys for a really long
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, because it could have been like a lunch table scenario where all the transfers sit at one table and all the other guys are like, oh, we don't know you, whatever. So the people that are the transfer portal kids, they all hang out together and you don't really get to be a part of the team. And it feels like it went the opposite way where, like, come sit over here, whatever you have to do. You've obviously been a leader that I don't think, obviously people expected it, but I don't think they expected it to do it the way that you're doing where you're like a team guy. It's not authoritarian. It's not Air
T-shirts
Force.
and all that stuff.
It's
Love
like
that.
fun stuff. And I don't think people knew that about you coming in.
Yeah, I mean that's something that has been that's the nature of the military. That's kind of the nature of the relationships that I've had coming in here, and I guess that's probably just my nature. I don't know.
I heard both of y'all are like
yeah.
unbelievable clubhouse guys, like funny and.
Well, I
which is
mean,
great.
it's great when we probably have like 10 or 15 unbelievable clubhouse guys, and everybody else is a great
Malazzo's
club.
probably in that group.
Pearson.
Yeah, like
so good.
yeah, yeah, like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love being in the clubhouse where we pretty much.
What did y'all do through that long break? Like that long range? Like, did most of y'all stay? I know I saw some guys kind of leave, but did y'all all leave or did y'all like kind of stay?
They left in plain clothes and nobody noticed.
No,
They like
I
snuck
saw
through the
them.
crowd.
Everybody went home for a little bit? Is that how it works?
I went home. I don't know what everybody else
What was
did.
your start day? So
I had to get out of there.
Fed the
Yeah, you
dog.
starters are psychopaths on your start day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just chilling.
Y'all stayed?
Yeah.
Did y'all stay the whole time?
Oh, you actually stayed the whole time?
Yeah, that's what I would have stayed. We would have had some. Do y'all still have a ping pong table on the players' lounge?
No, I mean it's there, but
Nobody
Nobody
plays ping
plays.
the
pong.
spread goes, yeah.
Wow.
Not a ping
we had,
pong group.
We had some
Wow.
monster ping pong games in there.
Yeah.
But they got a new table. We broke the other one.
We just cut up the
I
whole
love
time.
that.
It was really fun.
Shut up and built Legos.
Yeah, I got
You got a Lego guy?
Yeah, I was crushing Legos.
Wait,
in the
time out.
training
Wait, you got Legos in the clubhouse?
room. Yeah.
What do you
What
how
did
do
we
you
build?
What do you do? Like, what do you
Before a
got a
super
little-
regional game.
Look, he's like smiling about it too.
This
He's
guy
like,
fell
yeah.
asleep in the dugout in the locker room before
Oh, I'm
the
a sleep
regional
guy
game when we
anyway.
played.
Happens.
Doesn't matter.
Happens.
I don't
Happens.
care.
Mary didn't like that one much.
No,
I always thought he
the
was
foam
hungover.
rolls and towels, but I got a Lego and I did it in the training room, but I had to make sure coach didn't walk in because I'm putting together and it's like I'm not getting the ball if I'm putting this together.
Wait, how big was this thing?
It was like a 520
What
piece.
was no, time out. What was the age group on it?
We
You
don't
know,
have to
Legos come with Legos come with age groups. What was the age group?
Then we
on
don't
this
need to
thing?
talk about
It was
that.
like 5 years old, which
It was a quick one. We didn't know how long the delay would be.
yeah. But I got it done. I don't think coach saw, which was good because
You should give it to him now. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
did.
Is that thing making a trip to Omaha? Or is there another?
Yeah, I'm
I
like
gotta get
yeah,
another
no,
one.
it's, could be good mojo.
This is so great.
But
I love
This
that.
man was building Legos in the training room.
I love that. All right, we talked about. We can continue to talk about y'all, but I know that the team, since y'all are so close, obviously you talk about the offense, how good the offense is. I think a lot of guys have done a lot of things this year that maybe not people outside of the team didn't expect. Right? Like, I don't think anybody expected Beloso to hit 320 with 14 pumps. I don't think anybody expected Travinsky to come in there and hit 400 with 10. I don't think anybody thought – everybody wrote off Thompson for no reason because he was banged up last year. They didn't think he was a good shortstop, which was stupid, but they wrote him off. How important has it been? Pearson didn't play this beginning of the year, and all of a sudden now he's one of the bigger guys in the bottom of the lineup. I feel like he kind of solidifies the lineup. How awesome is it to see these guys stay the course, continue to be good teammates, and be able to get rewarded for having good seasons?
it's really cool. Like with Hayden, with JP, with Jordan, and Belly for sure. Those guys, they've been through their shit. Like
No doubt.
Hayden has a ton of injuries. You feel like he got pushed back a
Does
little.
he have the
bit.
best pimp job in the country?
Yeah, it's
The best
so big league.
Pimp. Nobody in the big leagues does that. Nobody in the big league looks
With
like him when he
the-
does
with
it.
the gold oaks.
Yes.
The
So
Jack
big
Parkman
league.
look?
The bat drop with the hands up. I'm like, that's.
Yeah. And
He tried to do it last game. He's like, I don't think I got this one. I don't think I got this one.
And he'll tell me before, he's like, first homer, around the bases, we're going guns. Second homer, we're going Manny Ramirez. So league.
So he's as advertised.
Yeah.
He's a show as it
It's
comes.
so sick.
That's
Yeah.
so great.
Great
I mean,
mustache.
Awesome awesome clubhouse guy. Like y'all don't even know.
I
unbelievable.
love that.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't even need it. We don't need it.
It's in his own way, but like, I mean, he brought those shirts for everybody before the game yesterday.
I love that.
For everybody, he's like, "Hey, who wants a Hayden Drabinsky shirt?" And it's like, what's going on?
And everybody's like, "Yes, just go ahead and give it to me right now."
Yeah,
I love that, and you're wearing it, and that's the great part about it.
That's so great.
So dope.
Hey, for guys like Beloso, like you know his story, and I think the cool part about like the end of the year when you have like a really close team is you start to have like a magnification of like, hey, like this means a lot to these people right now. Watching him hit the homer in the third, how cool was that right there?
it was pretty cool. I mean, nobody deserves it more than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like we've seen him work all year. We've seen him work every single day all year. And I mean, we all, from an outsider's point of view, they're not going to see it coming necessarily because they don't, they just see the product. They don't see the process. And we've seen the process, and we knew it was there the whole time. So I mean, yeah, nobody deserves it more than him.
Him and Doogie, they just like they bleed LSU, and it's so cool. And like, I mean, you love to see it for them. It's really cool.
Doogie's like a 1990s
LSU
the
Tiger.
way he's built and like how he plays it, and like I'm gonna get hit 800 times in a season. Like that's like
He pipped getting hit by a ball.
Yeah, his third one of the game.
like that's like old school. Like obviously we're from here, Louisiana, so like we grew up like that's old school. Like hey, in the 90s when like we're really big, because we work out really hard, probably not because of other stuff, but like I'm gonna get hit, and then that's just kind of the way it was. Like super old school, player, which is awesome. Who's not old school, but who's very good, obviously, is Dylan, right? He's, best position player in the country. I can't call him the best player because I feel like both number one overall picks. I know you would say he's the best player. He's going to tell you you're the best player. That's great. That's how it should be. Dylan gets his moment, right? He gets his last home game. He basically seals the game, hits the double, shows more emotion than I think that I've ever seen him show. And I showed a little bit last week on that homer, but this double, I got goosebumps. I kind of got the energy. He's a very quiet guy. So, is that something that y'all see behind the scenes, like that emotion, that energy, or is that something that oh, holy shit, that one meant a lot?
Yeah, that one meant a lot. We don't see that very often.
That's awesome. That's special. And on the same note, on the other side of it, you got a curtain call, right? You came out. You had, I think, 101 pitches. You came out 7 2/3. You probably could have kept going. You didn't need to keep going. And Jay did the right thing and came and got you and gave you your moment. All right, how special was that to be able to come here for a year, but then be able to win over the fans, not only because of the way you pitched, but how you reacted, you acted around, you embraced the tradition. How cool was that for you personally to be able to experience that moment?
Yeah, it was cool, and I honestly it's something I thought about, like how cool it would be, and I didn't think it was going to be 7 2/3 and a shutout. But how cool it would be to experience something like that with 12,000 people, clapping and all that. I knew that I was going to, because they told me I was getting 2 hitters. They told me I wasn't, they told me I was getting 2 hitters so that I wouldn't go the full inning. I get it. Yeah. It was nice to have the 2 strikeouts.
Yeah. I can see it. You can see it. I was watching him like, man, he knows. Is he the last inning or that's his last batter? Because when you struck him out, you're like, yes.
Yeah, and so I knew it was coming, and when it was happening, I didn't know how to react, but it was cool.
Yeah,
I just
that's awesome.
put my head down and smiled.
Yeah, that's all you can do. You deserved it, man. One thing about LSU fans, they understand baseball, and they understand moments like that, and so you earned that moment. You deserve that moment. I'm glad you got that moment. I got more moments though.
More moments.
Right? A lot more moments, right? Like that moment right there. Right? You got moments that are going to happen in Omaha. You have 5 games. Y'all have never experienced Omaha. You've never been to Omaha, right? At UCLA? No. The best for me, one of the coolest experiences at first practice on the field, because you're going to have 20,000 people there watching your first practice. And it's like, damn, this is awesome. And you're juiced up and you're probably going to beg to hit BP because
that's about to ask that.
There's a lot of different things. You're gonna have that, and then you're gonna have a practice that's at a high school, where in your mind you're thinking you're gonna pull up, and it's it's just us. There's 35 of us here, and there's a line of people waiting to watch you play. You're like, what is
Plus
going on
45
here?
media members. And
Yeah.
Yeah, probably similar to Hoover.
Yeah. Times two.
Times two.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're gonna have a lot. I mean, it's
More.
gonna be
Yeah.
like LSU just gets the following. You've seen, y'all have experienced it all year. Like what you get after a game, as far as media coverage, just in a regular SEC weekend or a home game, is different than anywhere else you get. And then when you get to the postseason, you saw it at Hoover, you saw it in the Supers. When you get to Omaha, you're like, damn, okay, there's like 35 different media outlets from Louisiana, just getting an interview at practice. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy that y'all get to experience it. Y'all deserve this. That's what Jay came here for. That's what y'all came here for. Was to go to Omaha and win a national championship. Obviously, you're going to give me a political correct answer. I'm not going to ask who y'all would rather face between Southern Miss and Tennessee. But whoever
Would y'all rather
face.
face?
No, don't ask that. They're not going to answer that. Whoever, right? Just show up their ass, whoever you're going to face. I guess Riley Cooper's the only one that's been there, right, on the team?
Riley, Christian pitched it, and then
freshman year. What is that? Maybe?
Yeah. And then Bryce went, but he was hurt that year. So
okay.
Have they told y'all about, like, have they said anything about, like, damn, when you get home, you gotta do this, this, and this? What have they said? Like,
yeah, we room with Bryce, so we both have heard of it.
Nice.
A lot.
Anything that you can share with us?
I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of, like, it's so cool.
Yeah,
and stuff
it
like
is.
that.
I've never been to a new stadium.
What Coach says is, he says, as cool as it looks, it's that times 4. That's what he's told us a couple times.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the new stadium looks. I mean, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there for the first weekend. So that'll be the first time I've ever stepped foot into the, I guess what he said, Charles Schwab Field now. It used to be TD Ameritrade, now it's Charles Schwab Field.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Y'all leave on Wednesday,
Yeah,
and you'll have a send off at 9 a.m. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That just came out. Apparently Jay didn't know it either, and Lloyd broke the news to Jay on the
On air?
On air, and Jay was like, "Wait, what do we have at 9 a.m.?" And just
I figured Jay would have been on top of it.
You
It seems
fucked
like
him up.
well, I know, but now he knows. It wasn't going to be a
Well, you don't think he was?
surprise.
You think he was
That
just
was
gonna
what
show
you were
up
shooting
with,
for.
"Oh, we got a send off today." He's just gonna show up and not know.
I thought he would know. But I mean, the man reads more than I'd have. He's always on top of the game, so I figured he would have known and be like, "All right, I have a planned statement, get everybody out to the box." He's like, "Oh shit, I didn't know we were doing that." Now we all know. So when you go to Alex Box and y'all leave at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, there's going to be about 5,000 people there.
But thank Lloyd for breaking the news for you.
Yeah, was it supposed to be a surprise?
Was it like a surprise party?
I don't know. No, it's on the
ruin the surprise.
internet. I mean,
Ruin the surprise.
it's
Lloyd.
on LSUsports.net. I mean, I imagine that people know.
Now they-
Santa's not real
and
either.
now they-
Now they do.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, don't do that.
I was just saying.
I mean, why would you, now, just because you got mad, don't ruin.
I'm not
other
mad.
people's listen. Yeah, you're mad. You ruin. What if an 8-year-old is watching this
Or Thatcher.
because they wanted to
Yeah,
watch
no,
their?
he thought he was real.
Yeah, he thought. Look, you just broke his heart.
Oh, I'll get you some Legos.
Who's bringing
for-
Legos? Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Before I let y'all go, I know y'all kept y'all for a while. Y'all came to LSU, and you've probably heard stories and heard these types of things. Is there something that happened, or that through the course of your time here, that has been something that you didn't really expect to see or do? Obviously, football season is one thing. Y'all got to experience an Alabama LSU game where LSU won, which is awesome. But
Or did y'all? I've heard stories.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah, y'all
I've
had-
heard stories.
Jay decided to
that
give y'all a
somebody-
25-inning game the next day, so that's a little tough.
I
Come
heard
on, bro.
someone wasn't in the stadium that day.
Yeah, what's that? I was pitching that day. Getting stormed the field, and
Are you there?
Trying to be
I
responsible.
love to.
we both did the
I
same
figured
thing.
a lot of people left.
We stayed till halftime.
Yeah, a lot of people left. I'm gonna imagine y'all watch it together at someone's house or apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I finished it in our apartment.
But was there, other than that, was there something that damn, okay, I wasn't expecting Louisiana or LSU to be this way, and it's
What they
it's
just
not.
got, bro.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's one thing I seriously, when it comes to playing baseball at LSU, I think that's the biggest recruiting pitch there is.
Well, Jay did it in the middle of the game.
But not everyone gets to experience it, right?
Right.
And the one thing I kind of I've always told people, I was like, I've gotten the what's louder, the baseball, football, what's crazier. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, postseason baseball, because there's so much that's unexpected because people
For you all to know, he played both at LSU.
people live and die on every single pitch in postseason baseball. I was like, it's a completely different feel, and I understand, man. There's 100,000 people in Tiger Stadium, and it's so loud. It's always loud. I was like, postseason baseball in this place is something I wish every LSU baseball player gets a chance to come here and experience, and y'all did, and y'all obviously did it the right way because you're still playing.
Well, y'all,
So when you played football first, so you're playing Tiger Stadium and then you go to the season, like how did the environments, did it feel kind of like dulled down almost because like nothing really tops Tiger Stadium?
Well, I guess I'm getting the questions now.
I like this. This is good. No, this is good. This is good. This is a conversation.
No, it didn't.
On my visit, I walked out there. We go on the field, and we did that a couple times. It's really sick.
No, it's crazy. Yeah. I'll say this in a weird way in a weird way when you play football, it's so you go through practice, they turn everything's blaring, bro. So like the noise becomes like very like you just get used to it. Like it's not there. There's so many hand signals, and it's like the noise no longer really becomes kind of a thing. So it kind of becomes pretty normal, especially because like when you go out on the football field, pretty much it's loud pretty much the entire game. So that's what it is. And I was like, the only time you really get a chance to feel that is when you get to postseason baseball in this stadium. And y'all get a chance to do that and do it the right way.
Just say y'all walk on the field. I saw the video you slinging the rock after your start of football. Did you play football?
No.
No? You got it?
That was like the only spiral I threw that day.
I was going to say, that came out nice. I was like, you're a quarterback? Slinging it. I like that. Did you play anything other than baseball?
No,
baseball guys?
Baseball, yeah.
Baseball guys. Nice. Were you always like 6'6", or did you like...
I was always tall. I was
Yeah.
never like this tall.
Yeah.
I hit a growth spurt maybe my sophomore year in high school.
Yeah. And that's when you got to be 6'6".
Yeah.
Still waiting. Yeah.
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 I do have one real question for you.
Still waiting.
If you rewind to the regional, were you surprised to go in after Ty Floyd? Did you know like the strategy going in if there was going to be a rain delay where it would be obviously there was some thought to save you for the next game, but the way that Jay pitched it after Ty goes rain delay and then he gives you the rock, was it like I want to close this thing out today, or were you just waiting to see what name he was going to call because you saw how he used Riley Cooper yesterday? Like you don't know which one it's going to be. Were you surprised at all?
No. I mean,
Had to
for
hide
one,
your Legos?
I don't. No. For one, I don't care when I get the ball. I just want to pitch, So, but when the weather delay happened, no one told me, but I was thinking to myself that this is longer than maybe an hour. I'm gonna go, and that's just what I thought. So I was like getting mentally prepared, and then Coach West told me probably an hour and a half before the game, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
So like I already knew,
I think the most impressive thing of that game is, one, you gave Bob a home that was 90 miles an hour off the bat, which, how the fuck does that go so fast? I don't know. But the way you responded after. Okay, you're going to hit the cheaper homer. I'm going to go and I'm going to punch your ticket. And you strike out 12 of the 15 outs, which is stupid. But, and then they give up the other one-dated homer, which that...
The ball was
Listen to me.
pissed off.
I know it's hit hard. I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
That's how you want to give them up, though. Huh?
If you're gonna give them up, I guess you can give up the big. Like you rather give up the big one. I'd rather give up that one than 90 mile an hour.
He was tripping me the whole next day. And he was like, "Look at that ball, man! Like, imagine if it went over the batter's eye."
Well, to that point, listen. I've seen a lot of games here. I have never, and this is not to you. It's just more of a.
I've seen a lot of large men get in the box.
Yeah,
too.
like people that have hit balls long ways. It's more of a thing talking about the baseball. Like I know the ball's hit hard. I know it was windy. That guy should not hit a ball over the center field of the hitter's eye, especially like they're just the balls are too juiced. Like it's too.
I
juiced.
think you think they're wound because like on TrackMan, I think an average major league fastball in terms of carry is like what's less than 18 inches. Every single guy throws 20 plus inches carry fastballs.
Mm-hmm. They're tight. They're tighter. They're wound tighter, which makes them harder. Right. So I think I saw something the other day. I'm not gonna say where I saw it from. I
saw a thing or two about this.
Yeah, it's a study. Let's just say it was a study. They took 3 balls from 2020.
3 college baseballs.
3 brand new college baseballs from 2020. 3 brand new college baseballs from 2023. 3 brand new Major League Baseballs from this year, right?
2023. Yeah.
And
all fresh out of the pack.
all fresh. You have the number. I don't remember the numbers.
No,
you tell me.
I mean,
so
I don't
basically,
really remember the exact numbers.
Basically, the 2020 balls, the way it compressed and how hard it was whatever number. The college baseball from 2023 was like 30% harder than that. and the big league ball was like 50% harder than that. So like the gap between a Major League Baseball and the ball they use now is very, very small. Plus, y'all using metal bats. So like, it's just NCAA. We got to figure that out. We got to figure that out NCAA, because I know you gave up a bomb, a homer, but like that ball has no business going over the center field line. It pisses me off. You guy's a little guy.
He's just mad that he never did.
That's
He's
exactly
like,
what
that's
it
some
is.
bullshit.
Grievances that he didn't get.
Never did go to the scoreboard once with the other bats, not the new bats. The other bats. Whatever, it happens. But
We're done.
back to the point is the way you rebounded off that, was very impressive. And so I know a lot of people, there's a lot of noise out here. A lot of people, like to talk. They don't really know what's going on. And part of the narrative, and we never had that narrative. Part of the narrative was, when things start going south, that's when you can't figure it out, right, or whatever. And you've proven that to be false, obviously, right? And so, when something like that happens, right, when you give up a cheap homer or a big homer, how do you step off and say, okay, I'm going to regroup, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to execute this next pitch? Because both times that happened, the next guy struck out. How do you kind of reset yourself?
Give a ton of credit to Coach Jay and Coach Wes, and I think at times, where I'd get beat or beat myself, I would think, okay, I gotta make some really good pitches now, or whatever. But in reality, I'm gonna attack them in the strike zone. I'm gonna be confrontational, and I'm gonna live with the result. And I think that's what helped me turn the page. And I also think, with the pitch clock, I used to, really step off, get a deliberate breath. Found a way to kind of like shorten that so I don't deal with any of the pitch clock bullshit. But
Remember before the year I said that's probably gonna be the biggest thing about the pitch clock is not being able to settle yourself down because you're gonna get a ball or a strike called on you.
You got more time than you think a lot, and then sometimes I start slow, and it's
just think of the Legos from here on out. That's what I would do.
But I think like the reset has been what's able to turn the page.
Oregon State was not very aware of the pitch clock. Crowd got on to him for the regional. That dude was having a moment out there.
Well, dude,
you could see him actively. Oh God! Like you could feel 12,000 strong on him.
And that's like there's like magic of the box they say, and like with the bullpen. So before the game, last Kentucky game, like I don't know if y'all pay attention, but that guy warming up in the bullpen was getting worn out. Like he was. Like, this guy's not gonna make it to the mound. Like he's not gonna make it. He's gonna quit because I feel like he was getting worn out. Like, do y'all notice that kind of stuff?
We saw it. Or I saw it on. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it. Before the game.
It fired me.
It was cool.
Yeah, they were getting worn out. Well, dude, I kept y'all a lot longer than I thought I was gonna keep y'all. I appreciate y'all's time. I know that y'all had an off day today, right? Practicing again tomorrow, and then leaving on Wednesday. Safe travels. Good luck this weekend. I appreciate y'all coming on the show. Like I said, we're huge fans of y'all.
Good luck this week. Let's not.
Yeah, good luck this week. Good luck this week. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Good luck for these next 2 weeks.
There you go.
5 more wins. Get y'all's year put on the thing. Go get a ring because y'all earned it. Y'all
far too long.
Yeah, please. It's been y'all set the standard. Y'all reset the standard. It's been since 2017 since LSU's been to Omaha. Last time they were there, they're in the finals. They lost to Florida. They haven't been in 6 years. That doesn't happen here, right? And y'all have reset the standard, so thank y'all for that. We appreciate that. It needed to happen. I feel like it's going to be like that for years to come, and y'all are going to be that stepping stone to help do it. So appreciate y'all. Good luck to y'all. Thanks for coming on, and we'll be there watching y'all. So we're going to take a minute break.
Yeah.
We're going to take a minute break, get them situated, and then we're gonna
Wait,
start.
how
I know we went
surprised
over.
were you to catch that ball between your legs? Were you terrified? Were you like, oh God, this is coming right for the danger zone?
I don't know what happened.
Straight reflex right there.
Thank God.
Cool.
Thank God I went the glove and not
Wear
the
a
other
cup your
stuff.
next start.
The glove.
Well, I got hit.
The
The
glove
bruise is still there.
I see that. Yeah. Yeah, when you get hit though, I love it. You just shake it off. You don't ever like that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. All right, we're gonna take a minute break, get them out of here, and then we'll shut the show down. We're watching Mik'd Up. We'll be back to you in 1 minute.